Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Dunbar Snackbar here with MLB 2K12, and we have got game number 1 of the World Series. I'm so excited that I get a chance to be able to play in the World Series because this really has taken me a long time to get to this point. You got to remember, I got MLB 2K12 back in March of last year, so almost a whole year for me to be able to get to this point, playing a bunch of games as the Detroit Tigers. This is really, really cool. So as you can see, Justin Verlander is going to be on the mound for me for the Atlanta Braves. The National League pennant winners is going to be Tim Hudson. So you got a couple really good pitchers in this game, and I'm hoping JV has a really good performance, as does everybody else, because the first 2 games are absolutely huge for me as a player. You guys know that if I get down in a game, I'm going to start swinging for the fences. If it's baseball or if it's basketball, I'm going to shoot a bunch of threes to try and get back into it. Or if it's football, I'm just going to be lobbing a whole bunch of passes downfield. I mean, I try to make big plays. So if I get down by 2 games early on or something like that, I'm kind of worried what I'm going to do to try and scramble to get back into this one. So big game for me. 0-2 count here for JV. We're going to throw a fastball high and inside, swing and a miss. So that's good that we got our first strikeout here in the first inning, because with some of the other people or the other players that I've been pitching with, it's taken them to like the 4th inning to get their first strikeout. So kind of good that we got it there. Great play by Ugla. I was kind of disappointed that Austin Jackson got out on something like that, because I want him to continue to steal a whole bunch of bases. I don't know if you guys got to see the game where I was able to steal 5 with him in the postseason. That's pretty cool. Speaking of Dan Ugla, he is going to be coming up to bat here in the 2nd inning. But really, a lot of cool things have brought me to this point. A lot of great games and a lot of great moments, all of which I wish I could have written them down and kind of remembered so I could like put it together in like some type of montage video or something like that. That would have been really cool, because I'm like, I've never done a montage video of the 2+ years now that I've gone ahead and I've done YouTube. I've never done a montage video of anything. I think that would have been kind of cool. It's like all my home runs or all my like diving catches or something really cool like that. I think I might have to kind of remember that here for when I play the show next year. So I think I'm going to go ahead here. Once I get done with the World Series, you guys, I know a lot of you have been asking, what team am I going to be playing for in MLB The Show 13 for franchise? So I've kind of narrowed it down to a couple teams. Of course, in the National League, I'm going to be switching back and forth every single year. So I've narrowed it down to a couple teams. I might put it up to a vote, so kind of stay tuned on when that's going to be, because I want your guys' input on there. And it'll probably be the same thing as last time, where it's like it won't be like based completely on the vote, but it's going to really help me to kind of decide, because I mean, if it's something overwhelming one way or the other, then I'll probably go with that. But if it's dead even, I think I kind of know what I want to do. But I'm kind of keeping it on the DL right now until I can go ahead and put that poll together here when I finish this, because all of my attention right now for baseball is directed on this World Series. All right, so 3rd inning, we've got a man on first. Now this one's going to roll into center field. So now we've got runners on 1st and 2nd, which is very good, because I have been kind of struggling against Hudson here, while I'm at bat. That sinker that he's got, absolutely tough to hit. But here's another one that goes into left field. That's going to make the bases loaded. And once again, the bases loaded curse might be in effect. We're going to have to see what happens. Now, there are no outs at this point. Austin Jackson getting the bases loaded, of course, right here with no outs. So a double play or something like that could bring a runner home. But that slider, you can't let me know what it is. Dan Ugla diving for it again, makes the stop, safe at 2nd, no throw over to 1st. So a runner does come home, and the bases are still loaded. So this is one of the few times I think that I've ever gone ahead and seen an infield single with the bases loaded. So that is not a good thing to be able to see here if you're a member of the Braves. But we're still going here. Victor Martinez with his great bat. It's going to hit this one pretty deep. That's actually very deep for Victor Martinez. That's going to allow me to tag up on 3rd, head home. And we have got another run with runners on 1st and 2nd. So 2-0 is what we're going to be looking at after that one. So it's kind of nice that we've got this momentum going here, especially in the 3rd inning. Innings 1 and 2 were pretty terrible for me from a hitting standpoint, just trying to get readjusted to MLB 2K, and then Hudson with his great sinker, and his pitches are a little bit slower, so I'm swinging very early. But this one going into the gap in right center, that is going to bring some runners home, and that is going to be a huge double for me. So 2-run score, of course, off of that double, making it a score with the Tigers 4, the Braves nothing. So very dominant performance in the first third of the game. We could even see some more runs here as this inning progresses here because we still have only 1 out. Prince Fielder, of course, is up next. Hitting that one, that's going to go into center field. I'm going to go ahead and make him round third, come home, and we have got another run, 5-0 now. So very, very huge third inning for me. I was afraid that we were going to be seeing a game similar to Game 5 of the American League Championship Series where the Mariners, the opposing team, really didn't get too many hits, no runs scored, and then, you know, I had a whole bunch of hits, and I didn't score really until the top of the 9th is what it was actually in that game. So both teams actually really, really struggled on being able to bring people home. I didn't want that to carry over into the World Series. This one, ooh, not a double play. Luckily, Austin Jackson gets to first in time. So that's kind of what's nice about the speed, too, is it's like, obviously, aggressive base running, like what you're going to be seeing right here, is a huge perk of having that speed, but also avoiding double plays. Because with Austin Jackson, I know that, you know, unless it's, you know, a hit right to the shortstop or the second baseman or whoever, it's going to be very, very tough for them to get me out at first. So now he is on second. This hit is going to go into left field. Is it going to go over the wall? It is not, but it's going to bounce on the warning track and make it on the right side of the foul pole and be a ground rule double. I cannot remember the last time in this game that I got a ground rule double, so I was kind of scratching my head a little bit like, what? But that's all right. Run comes home, so I am happy about that. I'll take the ground rule double. That makes our lead even bigger at this point, 6-0. And here we are in the 5th inning. Chipper Jones up to the plate. One of, I'm going to go back and say the best switch-hitting third baseman ever to play baseball. Has been having a pretty good game thus far. He is 2 for 2 now after that hit against Verlander. So I kind of know where my weakness is, and that's with Chipper Jones. And I'm actually really excited about that because I have a ton of respect for Chipper Jones. And when I saw that I was going to be going up against the Braves here in the World Series, I thought to myself, you know, that's kind of cool that even the game goes ahead and recognizes Chipper Jones a little bit. You know, and what he did for the team and making them go to the World Series. I think that's cool. I really, really wish Chipper Jones would have made it pretty far here right at the end because, like I said, mad respect for this guy, and I'm so very lucky that I was able to watch him play baseball while he was active in his career because I think he's going to be one of those people that, you know, as you go back and study history of baseball, especially during our time, Chipper Jones is going to be one of those guys that are named as, you know, one of the best. Not just of our time, I think, but just like in all of history. Like I mentioned, one of the best switch hitters and one of the best hitting third basemen that you are going to find. Obviously, the best switch hitting third baseman if you combine those two. But a big hit right now. Lucky me. I'm so glad that one did not go over the wall. That is going to be a double. The one good thing about that, though, is it did take place here with 2 outs. So we could get out of this pickle pretty easily and still come away with no runs, and that is exactly what happens. All right, so 2 outs here in the 6th inning for me. I get another hit into center field. I have been surprised with the lack of power hitting in this game for me. A lot of contact hitting. I mean, a lot of contact hitting, as you guys have noticed. Nothing's gone over the wall. I have not had a home run yet. There's Austin Jackson going for second, diving head first, and I've had 2 great jumps every single time that I go ahead and I steal second. The jump that I get is crazy. It's like right when the computer switches over. So you can see I'm taking a big lead. I'm heading over for third on the slider. I decide to swing at it, though, because it looks so good. And that's going to bring Austin Jackson home. I don't think he would have been able to come home if I didn't go ahead and send him over to third. So what was going to be a stolen base attempt, I guess I could call that one a hit and run. It wasn't necessarily intentional, but I'm glad that I went ahead and I did that because Austin Jackson could still be sitting on third base. But here we go, Victor Martinez again with this changeup. That one going into the gap in left center now, so I guess it would have been okay if Austin Jackson didn't try and steal third because he still would have come home. And I'm going to try to come home right now with Peralta, and he is going to be out at the plate. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than that, but that's okay. no harm done. 7-0 in the 7th inning, 2 outs. Another hit right here for Chipper Jones. So, I know who I have to fear for the rest of the series, and I think rightfully so. All right, so here we go. Miguel Cabrera hitting this one in the left field. That almost looked like that same hit that we had a little bit ago that turned into a ground rule double. But he still gets a double. So I guess that's kind of like my sweet spot. If I go ahead and I hit it over there, it's almost like a guaranteed double, I think, for this game. So Prince Fielder, of course, coming up next. Going to be taking this one right down the middle of the field. That's going to allow me to go ahead and round third. I am trucking home with Miguel Cabrera. No contest right there. 8-0. It's what it's going to be with Prince Fielder on first with no outs. So still this contact hitting is really hurting the Braves. Once they went ahead and brought out Hudson too, I kind of noticed there was a little bit of a change that I had to go ahead and get adjusted to. But honestly, I've really been able to pick up on these relief pitchers. And now at this point, I think he's just absolutely terrified of having to throw anything at the Detroit Tigers. Got to be rattled or something like that, because I'm getting a lot of hits off of like the first or second pitch. And that's not something that I normally see unless he is rattled. Bases are going to be loaded here once again. I think it'd be really cool for me to be able to get a grand slam. I think the last time I got a grand slam had to have been like May or something like that of last year. So it's been a very, very long time. But, you know, when I've got Scudero up, I should not be expecting that. Another runner comes home. Bases are still loaded, and we have got 1 out. So really the bases loaded curse hasn't been really affecting me here in game number 1 of the World Series. I think it'd be kind of cool if that curse is lifted during the World Series. And who knows if it carries on over, too, to the show. But I'm going to be looking at another relief pitcher. He does a great job of being able to shut me down. So here we are in the top of the 9th. I still have Verlander in at this point, which some people might kind of question, you know, why am I going ahead and why am I leaving Verlander in to try and attempt a complete game shutout? Well, I think that'd be kind of cool to get that during the World Series. Plus, his pitch count is pretty low right now. So you can see 71. That's really not too bad. So I'm not really wasting too much here of him by keeping him in. I was debating about going ahead and bringing in Aroldis Chapman for innings 8 and 9, but I decided against that because I don't know what's going to be taking place in the future. So as long as JV keeps going like this, you know, I decided I was going to keep him in, and now there's 2 out. So we get those pretty quickly here. And Dan Uggla coming up to the plate. You can see 2 strikeouts on the night. I've really been able to dial in on Dan Uggla. He's one of those guys that I've been worried about because I know Dan Uggla is one of the best, if not the best, power hitting second baseman in baseball right now. So here he goes, getting a base hit. So I'm not worried, of course, about them coming back and getting a 9-run, 2-out rally. That'd be crazy. And I probably would have brought in 3 pitchers by the time they got that. But still, I'm kind of worried. I'd like for game number 1 to be a shutout. I think that would be something that really makes a statement if I can do that. This one going deep into right field. Delman Young is going to run to that one and make the catch. So game number 1 of the World Series goes to the Detroit Tigers, and what a dominant performance this was. Like I mentioned, this is something that I wanted to have happen. Statement is made with a 9-0 win that we are definitely here to play and that we intend to win. So we're going to see how these other games go. Of course, you guys need to be able to stay tuned, so make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. I just go ahead and I make it easy for you and put it in the description below. But thanks again for watching, you guys. I definitely do appreciate it. You are phenomenal people. Do not ever forget that. And as always, you guys, I hope you have a good one.